sit down and ever do this again, but today seemed like a fun day to record a little bit of stuff that's going on with me. So I'm gonna do that. And we're gonna call this new format. This is not the normal, you know, whips and finished objects and all that. This is just what I'm calling Happy Scrappy. So this is a Happy Scrappy video where I'm going to share with you the scrappy projects I've been working on over the last 6 months, maybe? Yeah. So this is number one. So the biggest news is that my hair is falling down. The biggest news that I have to share is that I have started crocheting. I crocheted when I was very young, like 6, 7. My grandmother taught me, and I would make these extensive, long, giant chains. And so I have gone a little bit square crazy, and I've had so much fun. October, the reason I picked it back up was the Pigskin Party had a challenge for a new to use skill for October, and I said, well, I haven't crocheted in 30 plus years, so how about I try that? So I did a granny square, and then I did another, and then I did another, and then there were just granny squares everywhere. So I thought I would start a blanket with these, and knowing that my favorite color is teal and my living room curtains are teal, I purchased some, there it is, Knit Pick Stroll, and this great, it's almost perfectly matches my living room curtains. So, and you can see the light fixtures, that's a Zim. Zim, you don't drink coffee. Get down. Get down. Yeah, I know. Are you the most talky cat ever? Are you the most talky cat ever? Yeah? Aw. Poor Bubba. Poor Bubba Zim. Need a kiss? All right, Ozymandias. That's him, and we still have Afro, but we call her Pudding mostly because she's just so big and round and adorable. Anyways, so I got the stroll and I started assembling. Oh, this is just one section, right? So I wanted to put together a blanket, but I didn't want it to be giant and heavy and cumbersome. So this is my first, no, not my first. This is my second section. So I did 5 rows together, crocheting them, and then I set that one aside and started another one. So I'm planning to connect the 2 sections of 5 together and keep going. So what I do is I lay out my blanket, and then usually I wait till I've got about 50 squares, and then I'll lay out a row, the next row, the next row. So like 3 rows, and I make these little packets, little bundles, just with a hair elastic, not a hair elastic, but a rubber band on them. And I work my way across. I take a picture and then I work my way across. And that way I'm making sure, because you know, I am a little uptight about things. I'm making sure that the same color scheme isn't in the same row. So this has been amazing for using up the little tiny yarns that I have that are less than 10 grams, that can't be used in a swap, that have already been used somewhere, leftovers from my Desert Vista Dye Works. So I am still keeping on. I finished 2021, got them all in, and I started 2022. So let's see, what is that? This is my 2.5 year, because I did a half a year, I did like 9 months, my first year. So that's over 30 colorways of that, and I love them all so much, and they have such great stories. So here are the ones I'm not really, So I'm not being too particular about 2-ply or 4-ply, because mainly because my favorite thing to knit is the nice plump 2-ply like Fiber Nymph Dye Works Bounce or Sun Soaked Yarns. She has one. Lots of dyers do anyways. The plump 2-ply, I love that, but most of my DVD is a 4-ply. So this is on the go, right? So I've been working on this, or I was. And then Christmas came and I had some deadline knitting, and then I had some commission knitting. I knit a pair of fingerless mitts for someone, and I had to finish my monthly Desert Vista stuff, and I participated in the Sweetheart Sock knit along hosted by Nitty Natty, and this is a very different colorway than what the pattern is and what everyone else chose to do. And I had some Moon Glow yarn that I wanted to try. I've never knit with her stuff. Now I have. She has some great, I don't know what to call it. It's like not fully saturated colors. I don't know, it's got this almost heathered effect to this solid brown color. So I mean, I know I think they must be, she does solids, and her specialty is these beautiful mini skein sets. So, you know, you buy the main color and then it comes with, I had 5 contrasting colors. So this is the Haunted Rose Garden colorway. Anyways, but this would also be a great scrappy project. And it's so fun to knit these socks because it's straight stockinette. That's super quick. I did the CPCT heel, Sarah Jordan non-Euclidean toe-up version. I did her heel, and then each of these little color sections, it's like, oh, I want to get through it. Oh, and they're so fast. I couldn't even believe this. I knit these on size 3s. They were so fast that, like, in one sitting of a TV show, like an hour, I could do one whole repeat, one whole color block, and then start the next. And so it was so potato chippy. But all of this to say that I had a lot going on in January, February. So my blanket got set aside and I haven't worked on it in 3 months. So, or 2.5, yeah, 2.5 months. Because I know I worked on it over Christmas break. I do know that. And when I started crocheting, all I wanted to do was crochet. Like, no desire to knit, which is probably why I ended up in mad rushes to finish things. So this week I sat down, right? February's over. I started my March socks for DVD, and Desert Vista Dye Works sock knit along. She has a Ravelry group. You go get all the explanations over there. I sat down and I rewatched the video for my hexes. So the lady that, her tutorial that I sat down and said, okay, how do I do this? I have no idea how to crochet except make a chain. So I followed Hooked by Robin, right? I'll link her video down below, the tutorial I used. I did 1 square with worsted weight yarn, and after that, it was all these. And they just keep getting slightly better. I mean, they're all pretty consistent. I'm figuring out how to bury my ends as I go. Oh, this one might be easier to see. Nope. Okay, how about this one? Oh, so pretty. This was from a swap. Anyways, yeah, so then Hooked by Robin also has a video on how to do a continuous join for your squares. I don't know if there's a not continuous method. So I just watched her video and said, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And so I followed along. And yeah, but I forgot, right? It's a new skill. I had it for 2 months and then I stopped using it. So 3 months. 3 months on, 3 months off. So today, my plan is to rewatch the continuous join video and remember what I'm doing. My hand, it's like so last night was the second night that I revisited this, I think. Yeah, to like refresh on how to crochet, and this little muscle in here, it got sore a bit, and so I had to remind myself. I mean, I would sit here and do like, I don't know, 10 in an evening before. So I got really quick at it, and I love it so much. So I will just sit here and tell you how much I love crochet. That's all I want to do. But it's a great stash buster, way better than knitting scrappy blankets, as far as I'm concerned, because there's so much instant gratification in this. So my blanket is 15 squares across, fingering weight yarn, and that was the back. This is the front, because I have my little Christmas bell on there. Yeah, so 15 squares, and I think I'm gonna go for, if that's 15, so I must be going for 25 length. I'm making it twin bed size. That's my goal. And so it'll be big enough to take a nap on the couch. And we're not really blanket out people. You know, we use blankets, throw blankets. There's always a fluffy, fuzzy one of the boys. But this is going to drape over one of my chairs very nicely. Not that one. I have a green glider that I'm going to put this over that matches. So that's my plan. So now that I've told you about that, oh, and the next scrappy project I have in mind is Jen from Down Cellar Studios, Boston Jen, her Boxing Day bonus. Leftovers from these socks that I think I'm going to start it with, and then I did get a few mini skein kits, so I have those, and I also have the Fiber Nymph Dye Works. I'm doing a shift. This is my spot on the couch right here by the window because I like sunlight. And then I have a yarn tote underneath the end table, and that's where my knitting sits. So this is housed in there. So I have more than 5. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I have 9 here. Yeah, and I think I needed 3 times as many. So this is 2 of my 4 or 5 row sections when I assembled them together, and it's so beautiful, and there's so many memories. I could just look at it all day. I'm so in love. Aren't you in love? Anyways, I did not weave in my hands to begin with, so I do need to have some weaving in stuff. But Nitty Natty Love and Stitches podcast, she did a whole section on how to bury your ends in crochet, which is a great little video tutorial, and it was quite timely. I think it came out in December while I was all on this, so I've been following her with that. So Fiber Nymph Dye Works, her mini skein winter magical winter themed, whatever her advent theme was this year. I have been working on this shift cowl. With each day, so it blends this day, like it overlaps the way I've been doing it. So I'm not wild about this project, to be honest. Like, it looked a lot prettier when I started, and as much as I love Fiber Nymph Dye Works yarn, I don't know that I'll wear this, because see how bright that is? I don't know if it's a good way to showcase her yarn. So I haven't really touched this since December 14th-ish, but that's another option for Scrappy Project. And I was not using all of my mini skeins. I don't remember if they were 10 or more. So I wanted to keep going and finish each day. I don't want leftovers. So I started a second cowl, which is much prettier if you ask me. So this is Crazy Sock Lady, heel toe, do-si-do. It's a sock pattern, but I just stuck it on. I stuck the stitch pattern on a cowl because I wanted to make it fun. So I feel like I'll wear this more. And this one's through, I want to say, like day 10. So I'll pick this back up and finish it for sure. I don't know about the other one. I have to think on it. And you know, it might be one of those things because I saw Lisa's color palette and what she was inspired by, and I trust her. So I know it's gonna flow. It just might be that I'm not a big yellow fan, and so these two sections have kind of put me off. But if I push through it, I'll like it. Because this is in the overall shift cowl. I think it'll be like here. I don't know. It's a lot of work, and I'm not sure I'm gonna love it. So I haven't worked on that since I said. So back to crocheting. Okay, so now I'm going to watch my video, figure out what I should be doing to finish my row. I saw that I have a row planned, but I also have like squares all over the place here. So I'll try and get a little bit organized and check back in with you later. So right now, just so you can see, they have been the row I'm working on that I'm nailing on the yarn. Yeah, you got to be careful with crochet. You can undo your work. So they've been attached, but now I need to go down, over, and then back out down this row. So once I do that, then I'll be on to a new row. So very exciting. All right, I'll check back in with you in a little bit. Slight change of plans. I counted how many squares I have ahead, and I'm up to 78, which is probably the furthest most I've ever done. But of those, only about 25 have their ends woven in. So that means it's more than 50 that I need to just sit here and weave in ends before I think of placement. So I am going to watch an episode of Wallander. I've been loving that, and I'm all caught up, but I've also been loving The Gilded Age. So I would recommend that if you haven't seen that. So looking at all of the squares laid out, you can see how imperfect. I didn't block them. But once they're crocheted together, they're all these perfect looking little squares. So I've laid out my next 4 rows. So I have an idea of what I want, and taking pictures, because that's what I do, and then I refer back to the pictures. I'm not sure if, so that's where they separate. So I have 9 rows up there, and then I have 5 rows here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do these 4 connected to that, or if I'm going to treat them as their own and then do them as strips. But that's the plan right now. Yeah, so I really try to keep towards light colors towards each other, so you can see I had more purples over there, more light blues over here. But yeah, leftover Desert Vista. Sunsilk fibers are some of these beautiful variegated skeins. I don't remember. This one was part of my swap this Christmas from Caffeinated Gert. So anyways, I could sit here and go through them. Oh, I love them so much. But patterns, but I won't. So I'm just gonna scoop. And when I pick them up, I do it face side up so that I know what to grab. That this top one is going to be where the yarn is left off, so I know face side up is what's coming next. There. I probably could have done this the other way and had it look a little bit nicer. And then I use a rubber band to just hold them into little rose sandwiches. Plus 5, 14 rows done, and I had planned to make this about 30, so I'm very close to halfway, and that's pretty exciting, although I do love making these little squares. I tried my hand at another crochet project and it wasn't anywhere near as much fun as my little granny squares.
Well, that's it for today's Scrappy Happy. I hope you found something inspiring and that you are also enjoying your scrappy projects. I'll see you in about a month with hopefully some new ideas.